Castlevania. Castlevania.
What's poppin', mi gente? You all know who it is already, and I'm back with another video. So, as you can just see by the clip that played, I have been hard at work. What you just witnessed was, first off, the HD logo video, followed by the new title screen, followed by the options screen, followed by the brand new intro video. First, I want to say whoever created the HD logo video I started off with, I found that on YouTube. If it's your work, feel free to contact me with proof that it's your creation, and I'll be more than happy to give you full credit for it, but at this time I have no idea who created it. I found the video on several different accounts, and there were no credits at all listed in the description. So again, if that's you, please come forward. I'd love to credit you for your work. It's an amazing... I mean, I know it's such a simple thing, but it just looks amazing. Very nice, very updated, high res, the whole 9 yards. Next up, I want to thank Morel for doing the brand new intro video. She did an amazing job here. And I want to thank Mitri for the sprites on the new title screen as well. Alright, so with that out of the way, let's go ahead and talk options here. And I'm going to keep this kind of brief. It's about 3 in the morning. If I stutter a little bit, sorry, but this is what happens when you create videos this late at night when you really should be sleeping. I honestly wanted to make this video well over 2 weeks ago, but between bug testing, the various Unity headaches that popped up because of their lousy documentation, I won't even go into the fact that in order to test a good number of video settings, you actually have to compile and build an actual exe of the project to test them, because while you're in the editor, there's no way to test the screen resolution or change the or change between full screen or windowed, and it's just a royal headache. Yes, you can go up here this little menu, but that's not the same as actually testing it in game and making sure everything updates properly, because this, anyway, it's just a headache, let's put it that way. And I won't even go into the input system. Although Unity claims their new input system is at version 1.0, that's a fucking lie. I mean, that input system shouldn't be past version 0.6. It's got all kinds of issues, and I basically had to code in my own systems to make sure that everything worked the way I wanted it to, because the way Unity set it up is so counterintuitive and so buggy. It's just an absolute fucking nightmare. Anyway, so I'm digressing a bit here, though. Again, sorry about the delay. Let's go and talk options here. Alright, so first off, the video menu. You can ignore this, by the way, in the upper right. This is just something I use for debugging purposes. It's not going to be in game itself. But as you can see, you can change from having scan lines to not having scan lines, but at a multitude of levels. So you can get really crazy with this here. I gave you a lot of options. Pixel blur, you can shut it off, or you can go all the way up to the point where it looks like you're literally staring at the TV screen through a lake. VSync and full screen, no explanation. Resolution's kind of a no-brainer, but those of you who know anything about monitors, displays, computers in general are probably going, why in the fuck does ESCO have a resolution and an aspect ratio? Well, the reason is simple. A big complaint I got about this when I initially put up videos of the game was the stretching, the scaling. Those are some of the general terms that we use. The aspect ratio, the size. This looks distorted. I don't like it this way. Well, guess what? You can pick whatever resolution is available on your monitor. This actually checks your monitor and says what resolutions at what refresh rate are available to you. And then you can go ahead and fine-tune that by changing the aspect ratio. If you're not sure what I mean, you can go back and look at the earlier part of this vid when I was demonstrating this. If it's in windowed mode, hey, you can just grab the edges of the window and size it to whatever you want. So nice and simple. Now nobody has a reason to complain about, oh, well, I don't like the way this is stretched out. Well, change it to whatever you want. And a perfect example of how I'm right now in editing mode and notice nothing is changing. Yeah, I'd have to build an EXE to be able to test this. So, but you can see you have a good number of options here. You can basically, there's something for everybody. If you want 4.3, 16.13, 8.7, even 1.1 for those of you who might not like, who just, I don't know what people would be thinking when, who would want this, but again, I've gotten a few requests here and there, so I just thought, what the hell? Let me give everybody some options. Okay. Audio settings, not much to say here. Music, sound effects, voices, and video. That's it. Gamepad controls, well, you can choose between 3 icon sets. Xbox, PlayStation, and since it's starting to become more and more popular, Nintendo Switch. And I primarily put these in because I know when I was switching between PSX to Xbox, it was a bit of a headache for me to figure out what button was what. So here, now there's something for everybody. Pick what you want, whatever will make you happy. Next up, keyboard controls. This was a pretty simple one to do. Unlike the bindings for gamepad, where I had to account whether something was analog or not, because once again, Unity is just the way they do things is just disgusting. I mean, they're too busy putting in new features and trying to cater to everybody to fix the mess they already have going there, and it really is a bit of an aggravation. I'm also sorry if you guys are hearing the bleep 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 sound in the background from me doing this. I should have honestly put the volume at 0, but a little late now because I'm about done here. Alright, so that's all there pretty much is to the option screen. Don't have much more to say. Hopefully you guys are liking what you see here. The goal is eventually to redo all the videos in the game. As you can see, the logo, that's a done deal. The intro video, I don't want to call that finalized, because if I meet somebody later on who wants to redo the rest of the videos and they can make that one look even better, I'm down to do it, but that's just not a priority right now. But next up, the next thing I'm going to be doing is creating a couple of videos, as promised, demoing how to do some of this stuff, because I know a big thing when it comes to the Unity community is that there's just not a lot of tutorials on how to do a basic 2D platformer. They go into some stuff like, oh, well, here's how you can go ahead and create collisions, or, here's how you can set up hitboxes, or here's how you can spawn projectiles, but nobody really goes into stuff like, hey, you know what? How do I do this effect where the menus move up and down? Or how do I do this effect where I scroll my text up and down and it cuts off like this? Okay, at the top, it actually smoothly scrolls down and cuts off bit by bit. How do we do little things like that? How do we do that effect on the title screen where you have flames behind the lettering yet in front of the rest of the marquee? I guess that's the word for it, the marquee, the stone in front of it. How do I do that? That's something called masking. And I know there's a lot of people, even something as simple as the lighting on the text that's flickering right now, don't know how to do that and are like, well, how exactly do I do this? So I'm going to create a couple of videos demoing how to do these basic things. Hopefully it'll help some of you guys who want to create your own Castlevania fan game. I think the first one I'm going to create is actually, ironically, one on how to do videos in Unity, because it's astoundingly simple, but sadly Unity has a couple of bugs in it that can create an issue if you're on, for example, Windows 7 the way I am, and it takes a bit of research to learn about them, so I figure this will be kind of a better place to put it up, and hopefully it benefits somebody somewhere. But the next major thing I'm going to be working on is going back to the prologue and breaking up the backgrounds of the tile maps, redoing some stuff for the enemies, messing around with lighting a little more. Well, I shouldn't say enemies, because there's only really Dracula there. Maybe breakable objects like candles, stuff like that, background stuff, etc. And doing a couple of things for Legacy Richter, because I really want to get that prologue done, and I've been talking about putting out a demo for way too long here, and I want to do that. On that note, if you're not a Patreon supporter, I'll tell you right now, you're going to want to become one, and here's why. I'm about to actually put a demo out of everything you guys saw right here in the video. Yes, the entire thing from the HD logo video up to the new intro video, the options screen included, the title screen, just so people can play around with it. Yeah, I know that's not gameplay, unfortunately, but here's the thing. I can show you guys stuff all day long that looks pretty, looks decent, looks like it's fairly well put together, but what the hell good does it do me to make things aesthetically pleasing if my controls are shit? So I really want you guys to be able to play with the controls, change stuff and options. And hell, I'd like to challenge you guys. I'd like to see who can actually break it and cause some kind of glitches that I have to then go back and fix, because I promise you, as smooth as this thing flows and as stable as it seems, there's going to be little things that I've missed here or there. Nobody's perfect, and that's just the way it works. So look for that in the next week or so on my Patreon page. Again, if you're not a Patreon supporter, go become one right now, because this one everybody's going to have access to. Who is a Patreon supporter? Who is a patron, excuse me. I probably won't put it out to the general public for anywhere from 1 to 3 months, possibly longer. It all depends how I feel. Patreon supporters, as I've always said, are the ones I want to make sure get some kind of reward for all they contribute here, because they're the ones making this a reality, and I really appreciate each and every one of you guys watching this. Your contributions make all the difference. If you don't want to become a patron, that's fine. Look down below. There'll be a link on how you can make a one-time PayPal donation. And if you don't want to do any of that, well, that's fine. I understand not everybody's got the money to generously donate to random strangers on the internet. Feel free to join either one of the forums, either the forums or the Facebook group, if you want to talk to the like-minded Castlevania fans. If you are a spriter or you have some experience with sound effects and want to contribute to the project, or you want to do conceptual info for, let's say, new areas, jump on the forums, and there's an entire forum dedicated to just help wanted. Make a thread in there, tell me what your skills are, tell me what you want to do, and if I'm interested in it and it looks like you have the skills that I can use, I'll be happy to contact you and we can work something out. Serious offers only, as these are for the most part paid positions. There are a couple of small things that might be okay to volunteer, but if it's going to be something like spriting, is definitely going to be a paid position. Concept work, it really depends on how much concept work, how detailed it is. If it's very detailed, I have no problem paying for that. Sound effects at the moment, nope, there's no paid work there. It's all volunteer, because I have tons of sound effects I can use on my own as is. Alright, so that's it. I think I've covered everything here. Hopefully I didn't miss anything, but if I did, hey, there's always next time. Leave a comment down below, if you have any feedback. But again, I don't generally look at YouTube comments. If you really want me to notice your comments, if you want to ask questions and you want to get answers, become a Patreon supporter, because that's really where my focus is. Alright, so that's it. I'm out. As usual, I come in here to do a quick video and my mouth ends up running a marathon because I'm just so excited about everything. So I'll talk to you all soon. I hope everybody is staying safe in these crazy ass times and healthy as well. And I appreciate all the support and the patience. Again, I know this is a slow process, but when I start making these tutorial videos showing you guys what goes into stuff like this, trust me when I say I've got about 10,000 lines of code involved in doing everything you've seen here today. Anyway, I'm out. Gotta go get some sleep now. Peace.